You can't fix stupid. The level of lying from Teresa Randolph, also known as Terry Joyce, also known as Terry Joyce Randolph, also known as the wig, also known as God knows what else, some things you don't want to say in polite company. She's now publishing proof that I am doing some kind of fundraising thing, GoFundMe stuff, because I said in one of my recent videos that I have been saving towards the goal of a retainer, what you pay to an attorney to get started. And when you first consult with an attorney, they look at your problem and they say, well, this looks like an easy win. We could do it for X amount of dollars. And sometimes they ask you to actually pay them up front, or maybe just to show them that you have that money or have it in escrow. And some attorneys, if they're, a lot of these ambulance chasing attorneys, they're looking at things that they know it's going to be an easy win based on the medical reports. They may say, don't worry about it until we win the case, right? In a situation like what I'm in with Terry Joyce and a few of her comrades, the attorney looks at it and he says, we're going up against organized people here. It's going to be a rough road. I can't do this for nothing. And I went to several different attorneys actually to make sure I wasn't getting anything unrealistic. And I did get a pretty realistic, and for me, a pretty expensive amount of money I had to come up with. That happened almost 2 years ago, about a year and a half ago. I got that estimate. And I started saving money. I live on a budget. I don't have a lot of money. I save slowly. And then I started doing a little bit with the stock market. Nothing wrong with that. I am not on any government benefits of any kind except my own hard-earned personal Social Security that has nothing to do with being poor and everything to do with what you earned when you were working as a wage laborer in different industries throughout your life. In fact, if you go to the Social Security office and request a printout of your work history, it will go back to the first job you had when you were a teenager packing groceries. You will get your entire life history, not only every place you worked, but little code numbers that place the job descriptions and the hours you worked. And you can even see exactly what kind of different jobs you had, which you might have forgotten. You can do a whole life story based on that one printout from Social Security. And it's all based on what you earned when you first go on retirement. What they do is, it's a complicated formula. I don't really know exactly how it works, but they'll take your best, most highly paid years, and they take some kind of average of certain months out of it, a certain set of months. They make an average, and then they say, okay, this is what you're going to get every month based on that formula. And I get a reasonable amount of money. Not much. I'm not even anywhere near the maximum. I think the maximum is somewhere close to $3,000 a month. I'm nowhere near that. But I do know how to cook from scratch. Recently, been even going into cheese making and butter making and doing some really basic cooking stuff, which cuts my grocery bill down to a quarter. I do sell my artwork. I play the stock market. I take no donations. If somebody like Thomas Schoenberger, who can be a real asshole, talks about, I sent her $5. Yeah, well, so what? I send him stuff too. He's a friend. I have a neighbor that'll come over here for quarters for the laundry. Sometimes he pays me a paper dollar in exchange for the quarters, and sometimes he just says, "Can I catch you next week with the quarters?" That's all it is. Friendship. It's not a crime to be a friend. It's not a crime to have relationships with people. And you're not, see, this shows what Terry Joyce really is. She can't imagine having any kind of approach to money unless it involves her half dozen gimme links, her beggar links, her panhandling links. And she claims everyone else does the same thing. And I say, hey, I'm saving my money because I'm just sitting back watching every single time she repeats the same set of very serious criminal level lies, because we're talking about intimidating a witness. We're talking about interfering with an actual investigation that did happen to Terry Joyce by her college, who were concerned about the question of whether she might be subjecting students to the same kind of manipulative, nasty, blackmailing pressure that she can easily be seen doing to numerous adults who've had some random contact with her, some innocent exchange, like the artist Nasty Troll Media. He had some kind of conversation with her about possibly doing voiceovers for his animation productions. He's a very serious and very well-paid artist. He works in the Hollywood animation system. And he looks for people with voices, and she has the classic vocal fry, Valley Girl. I could easily see him wanting to use her voice for some of his characters. And you look up vocal fry, VOCALFRY. There's a whole thing about that type of voice. And if you listen to that panhandling, professional victim, blackmailing, retired former whore, because that's what you are when you do sex in a film, when you're in and saying, well, I didn't actually do the sex. I mean, she did some kind of sex adjacent thing or something. She didn't actually have full intercourse in the film, but she was in a pornographic film that she worked for that company in various ways. She's bragged about pornography film, adult film scripts that she's written. And you're doing that kind of thing for money. You're no different than somebody up on the street corner here that we refer to as a whore. And there's nothing wrong with being a whore. In some states it's illegal. In California it's apparently encouraged. But the college was concerned that they looked at the fact that she had numerous serious legal fights. They looked at all the links. They looked at her professional resume link, which does mention all the pornography related positions and jobs that she's held, gigs, I guess you could say. She's in the Screen Actors Guild. They keep a record of everything. And the college looked at it, and the main concern was not that she does those things, because it's not a crime to do the things she did. It's a crime to do what she's doing now, though. But the concern was that she does have a pattern of vindictive, nasty, blackmail-oriented, and possibly extortion-oriented conflicts with a large number of the people who she's either interviewed or had some other professional relationship with. Nasty Troll Media, again, the poor guy thought she had a voice that he would like to use in some of his productions. Had a few dinner dates with her to discuss it. Didn't go well. And now, so she started stealing his work and putting it in her pay me, I'm poor victim beggar links behind paywalls. And in his case, that's a serious copyright theft, because when you're stealing a copyrighted material from that kind of artist who works on contracts with people, he has companies that use his work. So when he negotiates a contract with a big company to do an animation, they don't want their work showing up in Terry Joyce's pornographic little weird pervert club, her fluffernutter friends. Every single one of her friends are involved in these pedophile circles. And there's a couple of them that like to Urban Disciple. What's his name? Ryan Durden. He's a perfect example. He likes to pretend he's angry or, anti-pedophile stuff. But he uses every opportunity to spew the most graphic descriptions of that kind of activity. Whether he's attributing it to somebody else and claiming they're doing it or not. I mean, you notice I've just said a number of sexual things about Terry Joyce's behavior. I haven't gone into any graphic detail. I haven't produced material that you can get off on. Durden does. That's pornography right there. What he does when he criticizes somebody else in that general community, whether he's doing it falsely or not, doesn't matter. Even if he's accurately describing some disgusting things somebody else may have said at one point or another, he's repeating the things in a way that is in and of itself pornography. And it says a lot about these people, particularly Terry Joyce, that they can't even understand that it's possible to set a goal and save money, and there are income streams that are not dependent on begging or panhandling or victim status. You can earn money, and it's not illegal for a septuagenarian like me to earn money. It's not illegal at all. I can sell my art. I can do different things for money. It's not illegal. And to say that I have a start on that retainer fund does not mean that I'm panhandling, that I have a GoFundMe. I don't. I once did have a GoFundMe as a joke. I set up $1 million goal to get rid of that AI assistant that Microsoft had put into, I think it was Windows 2000 or something, Cora. They call that thing Coralie or something like that. Made the whole program unusable, and as a joke, it was around 2016 because that was when the whole GoFundMe stuff started up. So as a joke, I made a GoFundMe page and said, my goal is $1 million, and when I reach the goal of $1 million, I'm going after that Microsoft AI. We need to get her out of our computers. And actually, these people, Terry Joyce wasn't involved, but some of the same crowd was. They actually tried to make an issue of that. I don't care. These people are such losers. I mean, Terry Joyce is such a god-awful loser that she can't, number one, she can't imagine that it's possible to honestly earn and save money towards a goal. The only thing she can think of is exploiting other people with victim claims and pity campaigns. That's all she can think of. And on top of it, she's so incredibly stupid. She's making a threat against somebody who has said they don't believe in the Holocaust. They think it never happened, which, I think that's kind of a dumb idea. It did happen. There could be arguments over how it's being turned into propaganda today, but the genocide under Hitler did happen. Doesn't matter. The point is, that's an opinion, okay? You can, Terry Joyce has made a threat that she's going to prove to a judge that this other individual is a Holocaust denier. Terry Joyce actually believes that here in the United States of America, it is illegal, it is a crime to say that you don't believe certain historical events happened the way they are described. That's how incredibly stupid and ignorant she is. But anyway, I'll tell you the truth. It was fun learning how to play the stock market. It was not fun when it started to take a turn. And I really wonder about these people who say things are booming, because I see a lot of down arrows. And I took every cent out of the stock market a few weeks ago. In fact, I got to show you what I did with some of it, because while I've been saving, I've been struggling and, really keeping myself close to the bone. I mean, doing my laundry by hand and stuff to save money. But I also did something else. Let me see if I can. I don't think I can turn this camera around while it's on. No, unfortunately, but I can come over here and show you this way. Can I will the light shine on this? We got us a stand. Whoops, there. Wait a minute. I can't see what I'm doing. We got us a stand mixer. We got us a giant crock pot. We got us a real classy oven. We making cream cheese, ice cream. I'm just enjoying some of my homemade ice cream right here. I made two kinds of cheese. I made feta cheese and cream cheese. And I'm learning all the different products. I may actually start making hard cheeses. Anyway, yeah. I'm not getting 1 cent off panhandling, beggaring, pity partying. I'm doing it the honest, honorable way. God bless some, have mercy on some, and to hell with the rest. Denise Matteau, over and out.